talk about work-life balance, right? We heard about this, and I said to all my clients and people that I coach or whoever I come across, I said that's no work-life balance. That's work-life integration. Because if you look at work-life balance, somewhat is saying that, your personal life and your professional life has to be like balanced.
Even
equal.
Steven. Yeah.
Yes, correct. And that doesn't work.
That is Nancy Ho, joining us from sunny Singapore. Nancy is a renowned life strategist and a personal transformation facilitator with over 26 years experience, helping high-performing professionals just like you achieve both external success and internal fulfillment. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that might surprise you: the paradox of success. Success is one of those words that we use all the time, yet it means different things to different people. Whether success to you means getting out of bed on time and making it to work without being late, or whether success to you means running a multi-million-dollar company, success is success to each one of us. And here's what Nancy and I discovered. Sometimes the very achievements we've worked so hard for can leave us feeling empty. There's something missing. And if you've ever felt disconnect between your external accomplishments and your inner satisfaction, this conversation is exactly what you need to hear. Then in the Star Coach community, Nancy provides 2 essential strategies for coaches who struggle with taking on their clients' issues and how instead to maintain healthy boundaries. Learn more about the Star Coach community, which we're about to relaunch and open its doors for you to join, the hundreds of Star Coach episodes, and many free resources at starcoachshow.com. That's starcoachshow.com. Now, buckle up. Nancy and I are about to blow your minds with energy, insights, and a practical roadmap that could completely redefine how you think about true success. Let's get started. Nancy Ho, welcome to the Star Coach Show.
It's my pleasure and honor to be invited, Mike.
Well, it's my pleasure and honor to be here with you. And, you're already a day ahead of me. So you're already in Wednesday. I'm completing Tuesday.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to beginning your day with you and hopefully making it a beautiful beginning of your day.
Sure.
We're going to be talking about some really interesting concepts like the paradox of success and what does holistic well-being look like. We're going to be giving some tips for, if you're feeling the emptiness or the paradox of success, what can you do instead? Super exciting stuff. And before we dive into me telling all of you what it is about Nancy that made me want to have her on the show with you today, I just want to thank all of you for joining us. Let you know that whether you're watching us on YouTube, and Nancy and I say hello if you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on the many different platforms, just know that the Star Coach Show is committed to bringing you strategies, tools, and resources every single week. So don't miss a moment of it. Subscribe wherever you're listening, and then you'll continue to hear my spectacular experts like Nancy. So who is Nancy Ho, and why do I want her to talk to you about the paradox of success? I'm going to tell you all about that right now. So Nancy is joining us from Singapore, correct, Nancy?
Yes,
And
I'm from the sunny Singapore.
sunny Singapore, beautiful background. And she is a renowned life strategist, a personal transformation facilitator, and has over 26 years of experience helping high-performing professionals, like many of you listening, like all of you listening, executives, business leaders, to achieve personal, external, and internal success. So when we think about success, success is one of those words, Nancy, that I think is used so often, and it means different things to different people. And yet, the things that we're going to be talking about today, whether success to you means getting out of bed on time and making it to work without being late, or success means running a multi-million-dollar company, success is success to each one of us. And Nancy and I are going to be talking about, we're going to actually start with the paradox of success. So, before we go there, I want to let people know that we're going to have Nancy's full bio in the show notes and below this YouTube video. But what I like to people to know, Nancy, is why I wanted you on the show. So when I get pitched by people and get things sent to me, I unfortunately have to say no more often than I say yes. And I just felt energy when I opened up your email and when I opened up the information that was sent about you. And then we did our exploratory call, and it was just like, oh my gosh, people need to meet Nancy. So I am delighted that I get the opportunity to introduce you to my audience. And before we get rolling into this paradox of success, anything that you want people to know that I left out, just like as we're getting rolling, anything that's important to you to share?
I can't ask for more. What a fantastic introduction. And thank you very much that you picked up this thing called energy, because this is something that is not often, especially leaders, that they would talk about or even they notice. I mean, sure, we need analysis of stuff, the very left brain world. But I believe at the end of the day, is really some kind of a gut feel.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
energy, right? That's
That's
energy.
the energy.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nancy and I are going to blow your tops off with energy
Wow.
today. And we are going to do that by starting with just talking about, let's redefine this concept of success. What do you want us to know about success?
To start with, the definition, or rather the concept of success, is pre-programmed.
Okay.
Absolutely programmed, which is fine and well. Otherwise, we wouldn't know what it means and the direction to travel, right? So we're
Right.
programmed, of course, when we're young, you study well, right? Why? Because it matters, right? To be educated.
Right.
And therefore, that means, the path to pursuing your dreams of who you want to become. So that sort of definition and concept is absolutely positive. But the but, where I call it that little missing link, not too many people actually search inside and know what do they really want than the obvious, I call it shiny objects.
Yes. Sort of that external focus.
Yeah.
If do I look successful to everybody else? Do I have the things? Do I have the but you're saying, what about if we look within?
Correct. I mean, it was crazy. I drove my mom crazy when I was 22 years old, there about 22, 23, when I came back from London. And in the early days, we're talking about, wow, 40 odd years ago, maybe more, can't even remember anymore, in my 60s. All right. So when I just came back, and I actually really worked for a year. And at that time, all right, being a graduate from a UK university is like a big deal. All right. So it's like, you're in for success. Of course, get the so-called right job, and then you climb the corporate ladder, or it's fine and good. All right. Absolutely positive. But after a year, or maybe 9 months into it, I said, this is not what I want.
But your
So
mom was like, "But you have all this success. What do you mean this isn't what you want?"
exactly. All right. So, well, I don't mean to be arrogant, but if you look at me, I'm in my 60s now. So can you imagine when in my 20s? Right? I'm more, even more feisty, and you talk about energy and all that. So it's just, what's wrong? You have the complete recipe,
Yes.
ingredients, right? To climb the corporate ladder. Are you being impatient? I said, no, that's not
I
what I
don't
want.
want that letter.
No,
You
not that I
yeah.
don't want that letter, but it's like, my idea of success is XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she didn't understand because at that time, success is really get a good job, climb the corporate ladder, or be somebody. And like she said, you've got not just about the education, but I the way I
You've got the
think,
personality and the
the
looks and the
personality,
drive and
and
the
so forth.
and I'm sure on some level, and this is nothing like she's living vicariously through you as well. I mean, like we'd love to see our kids succeed and
Of course,
thrive. And
of
so
course.
I'm sure she might have been a little scared for you too. Like, what do you
Oh,
mean you're not going
sure,
to do
sure,
what?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely from a positive space. Absolutely.
Right.
Because I was so young then. Of course, from mother is like, do you know what you're doing?
Right. Understandably.
Exactly. So she's, of course, it's coming from a positive space. But then, of course, she asked the question, what do you want? I said, I cannot tell you exactly what I want. I was 23 then, all right?
Right.
But I just want, I don't even know how to use that word then, but the meaning is I just want to impact. I want to be more significant, not just in terms of title, having that
Right.
title or sit in a big office. It's not just that. I got to do something that I feel very meaningful and not something mundane, climbing up the ladder to be
Hmm.
successful. Sure, I said, I want success. Don't get me wrong, mom, right? I'm not wanting to be mediocre. Far from it, right? Far from it. I want that, but I need that inner, of course, I don't even know the word fulfillment then, right? But I
Right.
just said I need that inner happiness. Probably that's what I said. Of course, she will
Right.
look at me like, are you not happy now? I say, yes, I'm happy. And I'm talking about inside. So it was like that.
Right.
But I'm
So
glad.
you knew there was a gap, but you couldn't quite put your words
Yes,
to it, but you just knew and you trusted even your 23-year-old self that if there's something there that isn't enough yet.
exactly. And because the organization that I was with, there were very few graduates then. We're talking a long time ago, as I said, right? So I was looked up. Seriously, I was like doted on even by the bosses and they think like, wow, this is some sharp young gal,
Yeah. Mhm.
potential, right? So it's not like I was in a miserable place or was in a great place, right?
Mhm.
People, just really think well of me. I'll put it that way. But this just deep down inside, I said, no, I'm not doing enough from the inside. I'm not talking doing enough as that's not enough work.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I already kind of knew this thing about professional achievements and personal satisfaction.
Ah, yes. You
Yeah,
felt that disconnect.
yeah, somehow it's not quite there. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that the organization is not good. I feel
Mm-mm.
bad
Mm-mm.
about that, nothing. But still, like I said, I want more meaning, I want more impact, I want more significance to my contribution. That
Mhm.
that was really what I felt strongly. So
Okay. So
tentatively,
you were feeling the paradox of success a little bit.
yes, already. Of course, I
Yes.
couldn't describe that at that time.
No, no, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so probably that's why I do what I do, my why.
Yes.
Actually, it's not
Yes.
probably, it's definitely. Yeah,
And I think that as you step into that space and open up people's eyes to the possibility of the paradox of
mhm,
success, it probably, and I'm making an assumption here, so correct me if I'm
yeah,
wrong, it probably creates a big sigh of relief for some of your clients. Like, that's what it is, because I was confused, or I'm like, I'm supposed to feel great about where I'm at and just go, go, go and work for
right,
the next promotion and work for the next whatever and the next house, the next car, whatever. And that's just not meeting it. So, what do you want people to know about the reality of the downsides of success?
right. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, people should just rush out and quit their job.
No,
Or like
that's not the
organizing
lesson today.
something.
That's not the lesson.
It's not at all. But really, where's the off balance?
Hmm.
What's not aligned? Right? So it's really going inward to search, as I mentioned earlier on, the why,
Hmm.
right? What's your why? And not just about, like I said, the shiny objects out there. Why
Right.
do you do what you do? when that question is being answered and really answered in an authentic way, then sometimes all it takes is some kind of shift. Not necessarily now you're going to leave the organization, serve UN,
Not everybody has to take Nancy's path, okay? But at the same time,
Exactly.
what about do you have any tips or strategies to get that clarity about your why? How do you help your clients find their why?
Yes. Okay. I have written this book with Jack Canfield. I
Mhm.
co-author this book with Jack Canfield called The Paradox. I know the title of the book is Success Redefined. So why I took on the project because it's called Success Redefined. So I like that rather than the conventional
Uh-huh.
success. And I
Right.
concluded this chapter, which is on chapter 2. Okay, it's called the yeah, I read that word for word, so I don't get that wrong. The paradox of success, hidden struggles of high performing professionals. So I
Excellent.
chose that title, and then of course I put in quite a lot of thoughts and all that. So what actually even gave was a 5-step process focusing on fulfillment, a real world roadmap for high performing professionals.
Okay.
Towards the
Excellent.
end of
We
chapter.
want that roadmap, Nancy. We want the
Yes,
roadmap.
roadmap. Huh? Okay, so I said first is introspection. As I said, you look inward. So looking inward means also first thing first, values, core
Okay.
values. All right. So my core values are as there are 3 of them. Okay, core values: love, truthfulness, and integrity.
Okay.
So I live by that day in, night out with everything that I do, whether it's professionally or personally, because there isn't such thing as switch on, switch off in terms of that
Right.
word.
Right. So it's sort of the measuring stick you can use for everything. Does this meet my core values?
Correct, correct. So you got to know the core values so that we all know our why.
Mhm.
Without the core values, it's hard to know our why. Okay, the
Okay.
why, without core values, the why would be the superficial answer,
Mhm.
such as, yeah, to provide better for the family, so that, all that again,
Right. Right.
obvious that success that we all talk about, which is all, again, important. But it's the inside thing that is the missing link, as I mentioned, that people don't question enough. So the first thing
Right.
is introspection. So you have the core values, you know your why. Then second,
Okay.
as we grow older, and we all do, people tend to overlook this individual improvement
Ah. We're
because we
always on a path of continuing. It doesn't matter if
have
we're 50 or 30 or 100, we're still improving.
correct. It's just amazing. Like our founder in Singapore, our late PM that's been around for longest period of time. All right, he actually chose to step down. But guess what? Even at his advanced age, advanced, and he was kind of unwell already. All right, he actually still go for this Mandarin tuition. Like at 92. Serious.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we are talking about just about 4 months before his passing.
Wow.
Yes, that's the true spirit of, individual improvement. I
Right.
mean, if you think about it, 4 months before his passing, obviously he can't be too well in
Right.
sort of thing, but no, he still never give up his once a week Mandarin tuition.
Wow.
Whatever other things he may do, right? I mean,
Right.
right,
Right.
just what we
Right.
know, what he does, and he still really look into that improvement. So I'm heavily influenced by him.
Mhm.
All right, he's a hero to me. I grew up and watching how he had transformed Singapore truly. All right, so I'm not talking about Singapore story, although Singapore is going to turn 60 years independence on the 9th of August.
Oh, excellent. Well, happy Independence Day almost.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
Yes, exactly. So that's the second thing. And the third is integrating your personal and professional life.
What might that look like?
Okay, we talk about work-life balance, right? We heard about this, and I said to all my clients and people that I coach or whoever I come across, I said that's no work-life balance. That's work-life integration.
Ah,
Because if you look at work-life balance, someone is saying that, your personal life and your professional life has to be like balanced
even
equally.
Steven. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, correct. And that doesn't work. Because there are some period of time you do have to devote more time at the workplace, and
Right,
there's times you have to devote more time with your children because of some
right.
obvious reasons. So when you
Hmm.
get the idea of that work-life balance, then we become imbalanced because like, oh my God, but I'm spending too much time on A, but I should be at B, right? Then when you're at B, you probably think about C and then the D, and they go, oh, I'm now stressed because there's no work-life balance.
But what would integration look like? Appropriate
Yes,
integration.
not forgetting any areas in your life,
Okay.
not overlooking any areas in your life. All right. So it's not a proportional time, but rather, right, the integration, not
Hmm.
overlooking any area and make sure that we make it a point to show up in all different areas, including our hobbies or interests.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we're whole. Yeah.
Correct. Not forgetting about even our impact legacy,
Hmm.
right? Surely the time may not spend, we won't spend too much time on that, but not overlooking that because if we overlook that, obviously it's not going to be fulfilled. It's not going to be done.
Right. And
Yeah,
that there's going to be a gap there. So this
absolutely.
whole being is trying to minimize gaps.
Exactly. And the fourth one, interpersonal investment.
Ooh.
Interpersonal. We sometimes tend to neglect on relationships. And I'm not here talking about having, being a social butterfly and having lots of friends. That's not what I'm getting at. But really, are we investing time on relationships that matters?
Mm.
And time and again, we tend to take it for granted for those people that matters. So again, if we don't put in the effort, the time to
Mhm.
foster it, how is that it's going to be possible that it can continue to, thrive? It's not. It's going to
You
be
make such an important point there that I want people to really hear that we tend to take for granted the people that
yes,
meet the most to us, and they're the
yes,
ones that like if your life is at the end and you're looking back, don't you want to think about the time you spent with the people who really matter to you? So just be aware that as a former therapist, I can tell you that again and again and again, I saw my clients minimizing the importance or the
mm,
time with the people that meant the most to them because they just thought, well, they'll be there. They'll be there. And sometimes that hurts relationships too. So thank you for bringing that up.
yeah, definitely. Especially as we sort of grow older, it's like, is there? But again,
Mhm.
we know nothing is permanent.
Right.
Nothing is
Right.
permanent, all right? But we tend to think that it will go on for God knows how long.
Right. Right.
Yeah, until like one day we go like, oops. Now I understand, truly understand
Hmm.
what's called impermanence in that sense. All right. And the fifth is to investing intrinsically. All right.
Intrinsic.
Investing what's
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
what's inside. It's not just
Hmm.
about this personal improvement. All right. What does
Hmm.
it mean? So you have to search, what does it mean? Does it mean a skill, some kind of even life skill? Does
Hmm.
it mean you need some changes in the way you think,
Hmm.
right? So it's not that improvement of, maybe, or is it
Right.
you should? learn things that's current.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to go again with the AI thing. It's so we are so bombarded. All right. So I don't want to go that route. But what is current? Are we
Right.
keeping up to that trend, so to speak? Because we can't feel good if deep down it's like we are left behind. I know that.
Right.
Example, like when somebody speak about this certain current and you don't know much about it because you never go and invest in it to learn, to
Right.
know, and either to behavior what happened. One,
Right.
you will look like a bit like naive. Oh, really? Is that it? Which not going to look good and not going to feel good. Or two, which I see that in a lot of people, they just go like, "Oh, that's nonsense."
Oh, so I'm gonna minimize it because I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna
Yes,
make it
and
look not
just
important.
correct, not important, and just brush it away. But either way, the person knows they're not keeping up to it. And this
Right.
is not about keeping up to Joneses. This is not like, oh, somebody has this flashy car. I keep up to have
Right,
this.
right,
Isn't like that because, as I always said, right? We can lie to the whole world, and I don't mean the dishonest lie as an expression, but we can't lie to ourselves.
right, right.
We can't.
Which is
So,
why that intrinsic growth
being
and
honest,
intrinsic examination is so important.
correct, correct. So these are my 5 steps.
Love that. So let's imagine those 5 steps and somebody who is very successful on the outside, but they're feeling like maybe there's a gap. Examining those 5 things might be exactly what they need to fill that gap, right?
So it may sound a little bit overwhelming because even just to go into the core values that, oops, right? It's
Yeah.
not. It's really not. And you don't have to do it at one go.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Break it down, right?
Yes,
Chunk it down.
correct. Correct, right? Of course, go through step by step. Start with step one, right? Which is the introspection. Just do with that
Mhm.
first. And then when you settle with it, then go to the second one. Then go to the third.
Mhm.
And before you know it, you have all that 5 steps, so-called, the roadmap.
Love that. And
Yeah.
when you work with leaders and you help them understand this, what are you seeing, Nancy, in the way that it influences the way they show up as leaders when they've paid attention to their 5 steps?
The word they use right from the beginning, the energy.
Ah, love it.
Yeah, the energy is different. Different as, there's a certain glow in the person. Nothing quite changed, right? If you think about it, it's still the same role. You meet the same people, right? You're quite
But you're
similar.
showing up differently.
Yes. You glow
Yeah.
even when you look at someone, the way you speak, your tone. That's how leaders are supposed to influence, inspire. So it's so much we can motivate in what we say, but it is not what we say that is important. Not the first important thing. It's the non-verbal
Mm,
first important thing.
so good. So
Yeah,
good.
it shows up that.
We are coming to the end of our time, and you have shared so much wonderful wisdom for us to think about. I want to challenge you to think about if people were to walk away with just thinking about one thing, what do we want to be sure is super sticky? What do we want our listeners to really think about?
What makes you happy? What really makes you happy? I see. I like to pose a question rather than give somebody an answer because we live life differently. And I also
Right.
like to think we all want the same thing. We want to feel good. So,
Yes.
what makes you happy? I'm not again talking external, but what makes you feel good. So
Love
that's
that.
important to me.
I love that. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about Nancy Ho, we're going to have links to connect with her below this video and in the show notes. Once again, Nancy, give the name of the book that you wrote a chapter in with Jack Canfield.
Success redefined.
Success Redefined. Well done. just as we're closing out today, I want to thank all of you for being here and being able to gain from Nancy's wisdom, hopefully carrying that forward, because that's really what this whole show is about. We challenge you to leave each show thinking about something differently, asking yourself those important questions so that you can ripple effect that into the world. Because we are all here in this world together for a reason. We're more connected than we are divided. And I just encourage you to think about the next time you meet somebody new. How are we connected? What is it that we have similar? How can we all do the heavy lifting together? That's my hope for you. My thank you to Nancy Ho for joining us again. And until next week, this is Meg Rentschler wishing you the very best for your success. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Mac.